AKAPADers. Look at this right here. Let me show it to you. This is the very first Kang figure of any sort. Marvel role-playing game. I think it was TSR. These were lead. I painted these when I was maybe about 11 years old. But yeah, so I'm pretty versed with Kang. AKAPADers, we're here talking about some of the benefits of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For once, we're not trashing it. We're talking about the positive that comes from these giant big budget movies, all of the press, all the actors, all of the accolades. We got some sweetness. Avengers 8, Facsimile, fake. This is a reprint edition of the original first appearance, the first appearance of Kang, not as Immortus. This is him as Kang, even though this issue references his Fantastic Four adventures as Immortus. This book, it's just so much fun. It's freaking awesome. I want to hit the drawing table. I want to just show it to you guys and pick up. I want us to highlight a couple of these tropes that are reoccurring, that are happening at this time of the 60s. What exactly was the Marvel formula? We see a lot of this. We see a lot of references to the Marvel formula. We're going to get some of them here. If you did see our Black Panther, first appearance of Black Panther, Fantastic Four 55 video, we're going to see some of the same tropes. Go watch that one and come right back. I'll put the link of that one down below. But let's get to it. I'm super excited. Quantumania! We got Kang. AKAPADers, let's hit those lights. Let's grab our book. Here we go. I'm just super pumped. I'm super excited to bring this to you. We're just going to leave my drawing table as is, because as you can see, I'm working on coloring this Shuri piece. Shuri, Black Panther, as you've never seen her. That was in a live stream earlier today. Let's get into our boy Kang. So this opening, I absolutely love this opening. Now, by the way, too, trivia question. Does if anybody that wants to flex on you, we'll get into it. But you can ask exactly what's happening on the cover of Avengers 8 and what these little sparkly dots are. We're going to answer that in the next couple pages. But this opening is so freaking cool because we see the foresight of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and crew. The Avengers are rolled into society. They're celebrities. We see Iron Man. We see the Wasp, with an autograph book here. All the photographers and news cameras. And this is so freaking cool. So they go to Tony Stark's mansion, essentially. And the caption here basically details that the Avengers still don't know that Tony Stark is Iron Man. Again, we're in an era, we're in this postmodern era where superhero alter egos mean nothing. But we get right into the story. And this is also cool too. We see Thor working the controls. Thor is familiar with technology. He's not just this Asgardian barbarian. He's very detailed when it comes to assimilating on Earth. So the military in this awesome blue sequence, kind of blue flashback, they are like, hey, Avengers, we got footage. This giant UFO ship comes out of nowhere and it glasses this entire forest, turns this entire forest to glass. If you're into Halo, that's what the Covenant does. They glass cities, right? So either way, military sends out tanks. Tanks get destroyed. And they say this a lot. Overly confident. He's this overly confident being with no weapons comes from the UFO. Starts making demands, telling people he's there to take everything over. He's there to conquer. You better surrender. Now this is awesome too. If you're familiar, I think it was Uncanny Avengers issue 6 or 7. It was maybe a little bit higher, but there's a John Cassidy update of this image. It's one of the Uncanny Avengers covers. It's fantastic. But he's basically, Kang is just chilling on the anti-gravity cushion. And we see a lot of that. The anti-gravity and the magnetics and radioactive, that's your comic book language here. Comic book science. I'll put that in quotes. Iron Man makes a threat. Kang presses some buttons. We also have button references later. Thor throws his hammer. Kang just sends his hammer into this like other realm real quick. And then we get the UN coming in. It's like Avengers stand down. The guys in suits and the briefcases, we got this. And this dude's like, hey, like, who are you? What are you doing here? And then bang, we get Fantastic Four 19 reference, Fantastic Four Annual 2 reference. But we get Kang's origin. And Kang's like, look, I'm from the year 3000. After I fought the Fantastic Four 19, Fantastic Four Annual 2. But as Immortus, he escapes ancient Egypt, but he gets thrown, instead of in the year 3000 where he's from, he's projected into the year 4000. And this is like, I'm not sure if Marvel ever touched on this, but the world is in this super advanced, barbaric, like, era. It's nothing but war. The technology is unbelievable, but they're at war. Kang pretty much like takes most of it over still because he's the conqueror, but he's like, look, I need I need some of the finer things in life. This era, the year 4000, is too much for me. Let me go back 2000 more years so I can kind of, take over the cool people. That's really what he says here. Giant Man comes up, tries to snatch him, and this is kind of where we lean into the gotcha for Kang. Kang is constantly doing things with his suit. It's like vibrating. It's again a lot like that Black Panther issue. Whatever the Avengers do against him, he has like the perfect response. Thor tries to break the ground, and then here we go. Antimatter screen. So that's your trivia reference here. Trivia answer. Antimatter screen. Wasp tries to get... I mean, it's so funny too, because these are the things they actually do in the movies. It cracks me up. Wasp tries to get into his helmet. Kang controls her, blows her up into real size. Captain America trips him up with the shield. Great throw, Cap. And then essentially what happens here, and this is a little bit, this goes into Rick Jones. We see Rick Jones. That's not really referenced much in this issue, but the Avengers get stuck in these plasma beams, and they're just held, they're imprisoned. Thor transforms back to his human form. You guys get the picture. But now we get Rick Jones and the Teenage Brigade, and he's like, I'm going to get my teenage friends, and we're going to bum rush Kang. I'm not joking. And then they're like, look, we're going to trick Kang. They bum rush Kang, and they're like, hey, bud, we want to join you. We think you're going to win this Earth War. And Kang's like, great. You're my first Earth servants. He zaps them up into his ship, and he's like, look, I'm going to need a couple things from my ship. I'll tell you where they are. And he needs this canister. But the Teenage Brigade's like, look, Kang, we're going to help you, maybe, but we're really here looking for the Avengers. Eventually, the teenagers find the Avengers. They stop the plasma ray. Thor's able to revert back. Once Thor gets his hammer back, it's just like the movies. Like it's Endgame. Like Thor's just wrecking shop. Wasp, with the help of ants, goes off to get a secret gun. Right? We see a lot of this. Again, the ultimate nullifier-ish thing from Fantastic Four. Captain America blocks a amazing blow by Kang that we're not able to see here, but I love this Kirby pose. Thor gives Kang another huge whack. Doesn't hurt Kang. Wasp throws the ultimate nullifier-like weapon. Giant Man catches it almost in like a roll. That's a little bit what I was thinking. Look, and basically what happens is once the ultimate nullifier gun, which kind of has a pellet, is fired at Kang, it destroys his suit by just soaking into the particles. Kind of like I'm trying to. Stan Lee writes this comic book science, but they basically disabled the suit by having something that could penetrate the molecules. Kang's like, look guys, I have this invisible laser beam, and if it touches me, it knows who I am, but it's going to shoot this missile, this neutrino missile, and it's going to know by your matter versus mine to kill you. So he shoots it, he fires it. Iron Man's like, look, you think we're barbarians? I have a repulsor ray. We're just going to shoot this motherfucker right into the stratosphere. It blows up. And then Kang has his predator weapon. His like, hey, I'm going self-destruct weapon. His mask, his helmet, which kind of explains why it's drawn so big at times. Because I think the idea is that his helmet has enough tech. His helmet's like, it's a doomsday device, so it's kind of big. Anyway, bear with me. The helmet's going to send this radiation, and he's like, we're immune to radiation in the year 3000, by the way, but you're not. And my helmet's going to radiate enough radiation. Thor stops it. Kang kind of turns invisible, goes up to the ship turns invisible, and that's it. He's out like a fat kid in dodgeball. And that's your first appearance of Kang when he's not Immortus. Now, previously, Fantastic Four defeat Ramen Tut. They defeat Ramen Tut in Egypt. Later, when Kang appears, I'm pretty sure he appears as Immortus. And it's not really, like I said, it's not like until almost like the 80s where Kang kind of starts to resonate. And then it's Avengers Forever with Kurt Busiek. Kang doesn't have a lot of comics. He really doesn't. Modern day, maybe he's a little bit more of a MacGuffin character, but humble beginnings. But this issue it reads very well. One of the best things to do when you're reading these old issues is if you imagine their voices, like as of true voices. Yeah, again, here as Ramen Tut. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to imagine the sound effects, imagine some of the action just as of what it sounds like. And I really feel like it's designed that way. I think it adds so much. It's harder to do that with some of the more modern stuff because everything's so heavy-handed. But this, you can actually have like a good time just picking it up, reading a couple pages or panels at a time as the day goes on. It's a good escapism. So everyone, Avengers 8 for you.